Listen, everyone talks about high yield savings accounts, and just a few years ago, banks were paying literally less than 1% in interest. Now we're seeing offers of 4.5%, even 5% APY. And it sounds like free money, right? Well, there's a catch, because not all high yield savings accounts are created equal. Some aren't even FDIC insured, and others are going to bait you with high rates, and then they're quietly going to lower them once they've got your money. So how did we get here? What's the best account to open today? And is your money actually safe? Well, let's break it all down. All right, now listen, if you're new here to this channel, my name's Dalton. I talk about all things personal finance and investing related. If you're looking for somebody to be there with you on your wealth building journey, hey, I'm your guy. So listen, for most of the 2010s, high yield savings accounts were basically worthless. I mean, you'd park your money in a bank and you'd earn 0.5% or less, which means that your savings were actually losing money due to the value of inflation. Then in 2022, the Federal Reserve itchy nose. Then in 2022, the Federal Reserve started aggressively raising interest rates to slow down inflation. And suddenly banks had a big reason to attract deposits. That's why we're now seeing 4% plus APY in savings accounts. Banks are now competing for your money. But there's a huge difference between the accounts that are offering these rates. And if you don't pick the right one, well, you either are losing money or you're taking on way more risk than you think. Now, let's talk about the risk of high yield savings account. And here's what most people don't actually realize, that not all high yield savings accounts are as safe as they seem. First, some of them are not actually banks. What? I mean, a lot of them are just fintech companies like Wealthfront, Betterment, and SoFi. They're not banks. They use sweep networks where your money is spread across multiple partner banks that they have. And while this can increase your FDIC insurance coverage, it also means that your money is constantly moving behind the scenes. So if something does go wrong, well, you might face delays in actually being able to access your funds. Second, some of these accounts aren't even FDIC insured at all. If you see an account that's offering a way higher APY than pretty much everything else out there, you want to make sure that it's FDIC insured. Some accounts are backed by private investment funds, which means that if they fail, well, your money is gone too. Third, banks can lower interest rates whenever they want. Some banks actually will bait their customers in with high APY only to drop the rates quietly just a few months later. So for example, in 2023, I was using one online bank account that slashed their high yield savings APY by over 1%. After getting a flood of new deposits and a ton of press and a ton of coverage, they just started slowly chipping away. So if you're not actually paying attention, you might think that you're earning 5% when in reality, you're barely getting 3%. So the moral of the story, always check how often the bank is adjusting the rates, whether they have a history of slashing their APYs, and you want to make sure that your money is insured. I cannot stress that enough. So if you were to ask me today, hey, you have no high yield savings accounts, what account would you open? Well, I would respond with one of the three here. First being Wealthfront. Wealthfront has 4.5% APY, and it's been tough for me to find anybody that it has offered consistently as competitive rates as Wealthfront. They've always been at like the top of the list that I've seen in terms of the APY they offer. The other really cool thing about Wealthfront is, well, you can use the link in the description to get 5% APY. And the other cool thing about them is that their FDIC insurance goes above and beyond. Typically, your FDIC insured up to $250,000. The way that their sweep program works with Wealthfront, you actually get FDIC insured up to $8 million. So money is pretty secure. Obviously, do your own research, but it's just one of the main reasons why I love them so much. If you like managing your money in a very traditional way, the second option that I have here is Marcus by Goldman Sachs, one of my very favorite because, well, one, obviously high yield savings account, 3.9% right now, so not quite as good as Wealthfront, but it's very traditional. There's no hidden fees. It's FDIC insured up to $250,000. It's just like opening up a new bank account. And obviously with Goldman Sachs, super reputable, been around forever. So it's probably the best option if you like more of a traditional experience. Okay, and then the third option that I like a lot is Ally Bank. They are an online bank account that you can open up. They are a mix of, your typical banking experience along with the convenience of being completely online. They offer 3.7% APY. Very solid option, convenience, safety, no hidden fees, no account minimums, just like a really easy, intuitive app to use. So just one to definitely add to the list if I were considering to be opening up an account. So if you're dying to know my absolute favorite, which one I use, again, that is going to be Wealthfront. Why do I personally use Wealthfront? Simple. It maximizes my FDIC insurance. It offers one of the best APYs out there consistently. I've been seeing this for years, and it's fully automated, so I don't have to think twice about any of my money going into it. That being said, if you don't like the idea of a sweep network, then again, you could prefer using Marcus or Ally, a more traditional banking experience. But the key takeaway here, don't just chase the highest rate. Understand how the accounts actually work, whether your money is insured, and how quickly you can access your cash if you need it. And you might be wondering, where do you go from here once you have your high yield savings account set up? Well, I think they're great, but they're not for long-term wealth building. Even at 5% APY, you're barely keeping up with inflation. And that's why I choose to keep my emergency fund and savings in my high yield savings account, but everything else that I have, well, it goes into investments. And my investments over the years have done, pretty solid. If you're holding too much cash, you might actually be losing money in the long run. So I want to hear from you. Which high yield savings account are you planning on opening? Which one do you currently use? Drop a comment below. And if you want to learn more about my investment strategies and how to make more money, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks. Have a great day.